rise and grind. Let's crush some miles. Welcome to another episode of Rock Flag and Hike with your host, Just Sean. This is episode 35, the final episode of my AT hike. We are in the 100-mile wilderness. We are giving ourselves 6 days to get to Katahdin. Today is a nice, cruisy 14-mile day, hopefully to a shelter, and then beyond that, anywhere between 16 and 20 miles, but also it's going to be quite the grind. But we're ready. I'm excited, so pumped to be able to finish this up and just, enjoy the last 100 miles of this. It's been an amazing journey. So without further ado, let's get on hiking. The day after a town day, it's always a little bit meh. I think we both kind of concluded today is it's not a very exciting day. It's okay. It could be a down day on the trail. It's fine. The weather's great. It's a little hot, but there's lots of shade. There's very little views, which is probably the hardest part because views can be very motivating. Like right now, we got some good views out there, and that's nice to take in, but mostly it's just a green tunnel all day. Rather unspectacular for this first 15 miles or so until we get to up into the mountains. So, one step at a time. It's a very nice beaver pond. The dam over there, and you can see where the beaver's been cutting down trees. Yeah. Cool stuff. What? Trail magic in the 100-mile wilderness? What? Well, we just came back from probably the best trail magic ever. I can't. I've never actually heard of this place either. But it's the trail is just beating us down all day, and this is exactly what we need to finish out the last mile and a half. A couple hot dogs, some corn on the cob, some mushrooms, beer, soda, all the good stuff. Feeling reinvigorated and restores a little bit of at least my faith in humanity. But on to the shelter. barren mountain. All I gotta say is, why the fuck is this trail making me work so hard? Walking along here, there's actually an old plane that crashed here. Huh. Very interesting. Looks like it tipped upside down. Huh. Wow. So much for leave no trace. There are parts of this trail that I wonder if the people who laid it out even tried to hike that spot, or if they're just that sadistic and like to run the trail straight up and down rock faces. Jesus. Well, this part of the trail has been absolutely brutal. It's just really hot. The sweating is intense all day from the first step to the last. Really tough trail. We're getting through it slowly but surely. It doesn't help we're pushing 17 to 20 mile days, but we're making it happen. Still beautiful, tough as fuck. Rise and grind. Today is our third day in the 100-mile wilderness. We're about 67 miles from Katahdin. Yesterday it was very much a grind, combined with the chairback mountains, with the heat. It was hot yesterday. A lot of sweating all day, starting up from the get-go, 10 miles to the peaks. It was real tough. Today we get to go through the Whitecaps and get our first glimpse, our real glimpse of Katahdin. Excited about that part. Not so excited about the mosquitoes this morning. Forgot how vicious they are. They're so hungry. They're so angry. It made getting out of the tents really hard. But as soon as we were on the trail, it's more or less fine now. Haven't lost my sanity yet, although I think it is wandering somewhere out in the woods. Anyways, comments say on Gut Hook that getting up the mountain is not that hard. I don't exactly believe it, but hope helps. So here's hoping it's not that tough. After a quick refuel at the shelter, we are getting ready to summit the peaks. About 700 feet in a mile, not too bad, but there's stairs, so it could be easy, it could be not, it could be really difficult. We'll see how much we sweat. Okay. Ooh, hard first climb, but we've conquered it. 1 down, 3 to go. All right, up to peak number 2. Two shocking things about the trail right now. One is that there are a lot of steps. 2, there are switchbacks. That's practically non-existent on the AT. I am very grateful for switchbacks. West Peak. Peak number 2. 2 down, 2 to go. Oh, making us work for it. Third peak. Crossing them off. 1 more to go. Enjoying the nice flat saddle before the final push up to Whitecap. Oh, it's been quite the grind. We're almost there. Almost to the final peak of this whole trip until Katahdin. Made it. Ow. Fucker. Oh. Yeah, just gotta walk that one off. Oh. Well, the celebration is short-lived because the gnats up here are the worst ever. Oh my god, I gotta get off this fucking mountain. Ah, my foot really hurts. There it is, in the center, right there. It's Mount Katahdin. Holy shit. It's only like 30 miles away as the crow flies. Slightly under 60 miles by trail. At this point, we've done 11 miles. I would not want to go southbound on the way that we just came. That is brutal. And after this, to the Chairback Mountains, that's even more brutal. I'm glad we're going northbound, but it doesn't mean that we aren't feeling ground down. I mean, we've really been hitting the miles hard. But I am reminded that a bad day out here is still better than a good day in the office. So take it in while I can. That is sure fucking beautiful. And there's not a lot to complain about. Close. Rise and grind if you want to see the sunshine or sunrise. We are in full defense mode. We've had enough with the mosquitoes. The DEET is out. Every weapon is hot. Yeah, the mosquitoes are no joke. Good thing though, today and tomorrow, through I guess the relatively flat part of the second half of the 100-mile wilderness. So, no more ups and downs of the past 2 days. That was intense. But spirits are high. Bodies feel good. Starting early. We're ready to crush these miles today. Fuck you, mosquitoes. We're less than 45 miles to Katahdin, and we're going through the Sobo bubble, which is really interesting to see. It's like going backwards in time. You see, their faces keep getting fresher and fresher. They keep looking happier and happier. Their gear is cleaner and cleaner. They smell better and better. At this point, a lot of them have probably been on the trail for maybe 3-4 days. And yeah, and this stretch is supposed to be relatively flat, and just knowing what's coming up next for them, good for them, because that's some crazy stuff. I now know exactly why Sobos have to be crazy to do that after going through all of it. Would never do that, but good for them. Let's take a little bit of a moment to talk about how my gear has changed since 2020 and my AT and PCT through hike. To be honest, not a lot. I'm still rocking the same Hyperlight mountain gear pack, although I believe this is the Junction as opposed to the Southwest that I had, just because that one kind of it just ran its life, 4,500 miles, and it's got a little bit in it left, but the stitching was starting to come out, and it smelled a lot. Plus 30, I believe it was 35 liters, while totally capable, clearly, of getting you through the trail, even on the longest food carries. Being able to carry a food can, a bear can, and all the food you need for that through the Sierra. It just wasn't quite enough. There's too much jamming stuff in. Like I couldn't carry any kind of food that I wanted to not get crushed. And that's kind of also the way I pack. I just jam it in there as hard as I can. But this one, 55 liters, makes it a far more versatile pack. And this is probably where I'll stick with for a while. I think compared to a lot of other packs you see through hikers carry, this is probably the best one you could have. No frills. The DCF is just a great material for it. Lasts a long time. And it's pretty comfortable. It doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for me. Other things, this trip I went with the Ultra Timp, I believe they're 3.0s, fine shoe. They'll last about 500 miles on any of the trails. There's zero drop. I think people put too much stock into whether or not there's zero drop. I think the major important part is you have to get inserts for them. You can't just wear them stock out of the box. I don't really think there's a break-in period for them, so you can just wear them, but you have to get inserts. Water filtration. This is probably the biggest upgrade. Since 2020, Platypus has come out with the quick draw, which I've talked about before, and this is just a far superior water filter than the Sawyer. The flow rate stays high for longer. There's no need for back flushing, although you can blow into it and knock it around. I believe that's how you clean it out. It has the end caps, so you don't need to put it in a plastic bag to sleep with overnight if the temperatures drop below freezing. As far as tent, still rocking the Z-Pax Plexamid. That too is also on the end of its life. Of course, it didn't get much use on the AT just because there was so much shelter hopping that I did, but obviously on the PCT there's every night in that. There are a few micro holes that I've had to patch up with the tape that's provided, but that's held up great. Would I want to take it on a full-blown through hike? Probably not, but it's still got a good amount of life in it. I think the next tent I get is still going to be a Z-Pax brand, but I think it's going to be, I don't know, it's the next version that doesn't have the metal brackets in the top, so it's just a half pyramid tent, so it'll compact down easier. That's the problem with the Plexamid, is that you have to fold it down into its rectangle, but it actually does fit into the bag better, into this bag better than it did in my Southwest. Other things, still rocking the feed bag. Feed bag is the best invention of backpacking ever, straight up. No, but it's all my gear fits in there that I need to get regularly. Food, batteries, whatever that I need, that I don't want to take my pack off because I'm in the groove. Just put it in my feed bag. It's right there. Other things that I've never done before, but I've always told myself, I gotta do it. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I'm gonna get it, and I don't get it when I get in the trail time. Camp shoes. I've resisted getting them for a long time, purely out of laziness, I think. But now that I got them, I love them. Probably won't go on trips without camp shoes. I've done some winter stuff with more beefier camp shoes, but that's more of a necessity. But these really fantastic. Other than that, you know, it's kind of the same gear. Not too much needs to change when you feel like it's working out and it's pretty perfect. So that's today's gear review.
It's amazing.
There's Katahdin, covered in clouds. So close. Today is the final full day on trail. I think we're both glad that's the case. But putting in 20 miles to get to Able Bridge, and then we'll summit Katahdin tomorrow morning, and it'll all be done. We just came up to a sign that said 12.8 to Able Bridge. I was like, 12.8? That's not very far away. I guess, I don't know, just being tired, and maybe after for so long seeing hundreds of miles, there was a sign that said 500 miles to Katahdin, and all, you know, a quarter mile or 3/4 the way to Maine, all these things, and finally a number that is comprehensible. I get how far 12.8 miles is. It's a beautiful day, but bodies are tired, my feet are hurting. Definitely near the end of this, physically and mentally.
Oh, there it is.
We are just about to get into Able Bridge. We're not going to go all the way to the Birches. We'll tackle all that with Katahdin tomorrow. But Able has the promise of snacks, deli, food, whatever the heart's desire, shower, bathrooms. So that's where we're going to find a place to camp and recoup from today. Today's a long day, but better than yesterday, and you know, probably better than the day before. And the weather's been fantastic. The mosquitoes have been minimal. What a journey! Almost done.
Dogs up there. Say, can you it looks like that?
coming out of the birches, all registered. We're on the trail. 7 years I've been thinking about this. I remember the first time that I came across the AT, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's a trail that you can hike parts of. And then I came across how long it was. It's like, wow, people must have, a good time hiking certain parts of that. It's really cool. It goes from Georgia to Maine. And then I saw, whoa, people actually hike the entire thing. They take 6-8 months off to hike it? That's crazy. How do they do that? Well, from then on, I knew it was something I had to do. And now I'm about to complete it. 5 miles to the summit. Just gotta earn it. 3 miles to go. This is the gnarliest rock scrambling on the AT. I can't even get the verticality out of it on camera. It's amazing getting above the tree line. 2 miles to go. It's absolutely stunning up here. 1 mile to go. There it is. I'd run up there if I could. My knees all busted up. Top. It's exactly how I imagined it. No, it's actually more amazing. It's just fucking incredible. Worth all the pain, the rain, the happiness, just all the time, the money. It just feels good. Well, now that I got the PCT and the AT in the books, I guess it's time I go for the CDT. There's an idea.